Hello and welcome into the SorareAndrews Podcast, brought to you by Sorare Data. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare, joined as always by Andy Black, who you can find as Black on Sorare. Andy, we had this huge topic. I think we're still going to get to it. And then Sorare does what Sorare does and made this gigantic announcement that everyone in the world who happens to be in their Discord and had notifications on in the announcements channel that we're all getting ETH just for playing, or something like that. I haven't read through all of it, but it looks like everyone. No, that wasn't it. Oh,
that's not how it works. I don't think.
Oh, I mean, it was close to that, wasn't it? No. We'll get into that in a second. Thank you to everybody who has joined us. If you are watching this live, you really can just go right to the Sorare Discord, because it's actually not announced anywhere else, as far as I know. Certainly not on their Medium, which is where a lot of the announcements go. Twitter, something on Twitter, maybe? Twitter.com/Sorare. Is it there? No, not here either. So,
no, Andrew, they rushed it out because they wanted to make sure they got it out before our podcast started.
I really appreciate that for them.
It was really nice of them, so we can talk about it.
So that we can talk about it. How convenient, Andy, that we're here to talk about falling market prices. And they're like, wait, before you do that, let me just give you a little announcement here that everyone gets ETH now. That is not the actual announcement. I'm trying to pull it up here. I'm literally going to read this, and I don't normally like doing this, but as of right now at 1:03 p.m. Eastern, the only announcement is on Discord. And so
I need you to just read me the announcement and then tell me how I should feel.
Yes, that's exactly how this whole show works. And then I'm going to tell you exactly where to spend your money, and then tell you that it's not financial advice. Okay. Hi, everyone. So this is for everyone, but it starts in the Discord. This is from Dan, who
can you read it like in his voice and his demeanor, like how he would do
I wish I could, but I can't. And I'm going to get carried away if I try to do something like that. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your recent feedback on cap modes, ETH thresholds, and much more. Pray emoji, which I believe many people, myself included, uses thank you. Although a quick tangent. Have you ever heard somebody think that was a high five symbol?
I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
I think they're nuts.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, the initial number of threshold winners was below our expectations so far, but participation and the number of winners has steadily increased since launching as more managers learn and master these new exciting modes. I'm just going to keep reading. Since launching cap modes a little over 2 weeks ago, we've been carefully monitoring our data and your feedback to help guide us towards building a fun and balanced experience. Further to that, as part of our work towards improving our gameplay and rewards balance, we are introducing more ETH prizes to our flagship all-star competitions. In addition to the top 3, the podium places, the following positions will also receive ETH rewards pegged to a US dollar value. The top 300 in limited, top 100 in rare, top 30 in rare pro, top 10 in super rare, and top 3 in unique. The above rewards are for a weekend game week. The number of ETH winners and the amount of ETH amount will change depending on the size of the game week, specifically the number of licensed clubs with a fixture in the game week. Please note that we are reviewing our data in real time. The cap modes are still new, and the current threshold parameters in cap mode 240 and ETH prizes in our all-star competition are not final. We will continue to keep a close eye on the rate of change and make any necessary improvements. We have just updated the all-star competitions with the new ETH rewards, So prepare your squads and check them out here, which is just the game lobby. Oh my gosh, there's a card swap update tucked in here too. This is like when they threw in the little deadline change and the reward cards. Do we want to go? I'll just throw it in now.
Yeah, just do it. Why not?
You already read the whole reward distribution remains a top priority. We are close to a system update that will significantly reduce the number of reward distribution issues and requests for swaps. To follow up on last week's card swap announcement, we will share our criteria for when we swap card rewards tomorrow. Thanks for your feedback and best of luck with your game weeks.
That last part meant nothing to me.
It means that they are going to fix it, and
it's kind of like the "we hear you." We're gonna make sure that our lawyers are okay with what we're about to tell you.
What we're about to tell you, yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
So if we saunter over to the lobby, which is what they told us to do, we can see here that once you scroll through the 800,000 competitions, here we go. So All-Star Limited now has ETH up to 300 spots, $10 if you finish in the top 300.
That's not bad.
I mean, that's twice the threshold.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. Cap 240, which is still just the threshold. Yep, $5 there. And let's see, All-Star Rare, where we used to go for all of our thresholds. Now you can top 100, win $100.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that's quite good.
Yeah.
Did you look at Rare Pro?
I certainly can. I haven't looked at anything, Andy. This thing just came out. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here.
Yeah.
$200. I don't know why this is all in euros. I was promised these were pegged to USD. These are all euros. But anyway, that's pretty good. Top 30, why not? I never finish up there, so it doesn't matter to me. But I think Scosmo got it. Free money for everyone. So this is... Maybe I obviously have not done the math because I just found out about this, but it seems like this is a lot more money being paid out than previously, which makes me think that their expectations were just like wildly off.
This is different than the capped stuff.
Like, I think this is making up for the cap stuff though, right?
Are they, or are they going to try to fix the cap stuff too?
I mean, I read all of that and I didn't hear anything of like, we're going to change cap too.
Like, I still don't really know what their vision is here. I would like to like know maybe what that is, but this is awesome. I'm good with this. Like, I think it's really targeted, I think, to like, I don't want to say bigger users, but like I see this and I'm like, that Messi that's sitting out there on the market for 1.6, I can pay that back. I can pay that off pretty quickly with ETH rewards if I can get, even if I played him an all-star and just tried like shot for that top 300. I don't know. I think I need more time to to really think about that, but like, 0.05 top 100 in that comp when you have a guy like Messi captained every week. I don't know. I don't think it's that.
Let me get this right. You're gonna buy a Lionel Messi rare card for All-Star Rare?
I mean, no, but I mean, I could buy a card like that, and I don't know. Like, what's Tadic now? Like 1 ETH?
I'm not sure I even want to know. I know Carlos Heel is now under an ETH.
Yeah,
1.24.
I don't think this moves the needle for like smaller players much, but like for people like me, where you see the floors of these like top cards falling pretty fast. I think that this really is going to like there's gonna be a breaking point where people are like, that's too cheap, I'm buying it, and I'm just gonna go collect threshold or whatever the hell what are we gonna call these? They're not thresholds. But I'm gonna go collect ETH every week.
So one of the things that a lot of people like, I feel like this is something that people have been asking for, like ETH to more payouts than just the podium. But this is good, like that this plays into that, but I just also just like not nearly as many people are going to collect. Like I do think the people with bigger galleries who have like the better cards, they're just going to collect more of this ETH. It's not trickling.
Yeah, but I mean, those are the people too that are churning and upgrading their cards and buying bigger cards, and they're the people buying the big cards anyways. So like why is the floor on Messi fallen so far? Because people aren't buying, like the big players aren't buying them.
I mean, it's not just Messi though. It's I guess it just trickles down.
Yeah, everyone. But I mean, like I think this will incentivize people to not let those floors fall too hard.
Right. Yeah.
Tecker said Sazine has only 0.5.
0.5, yeah.
He's like the perfect card for like if you're gonna want to run someone there and captain them. I feel like that seems like a pretty good spot there.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, I think I do like this point from Philly Dilly here that said I think they had to do something to make all-star contests more appealing, because it did feel like they were just there now. Like people went for capped 240 and then maybe went to 220 because you could play down a scarcity, and like all-star just kept getting pushed down the priority list.
Yeah.
And yeah, this certainly makes people look at it again.
Well, I was playing a lot of 240 and 270, and then I don't want to say I was prioritizing all-star. I was still playing really good lineups there, but I was playing like that game of I was putting a puzzle together basically in 240 and 270.
Yeah.
And sometimes that meant like an elite player was going there, and it might have affected the All-Star Pro lineup. And it was just, you're putting the puzzle together. But I think now from a strategic standpoint, that might change a little bit, but this is they're definitely needling someone like me to like, hey, you got an ETH balance. You want to go Sazinha or Messi or whoever.
I don't know what happened there. I just got thrown off for a second.
Did we? I don't know if anyone heard what I said, but
I missed the end. But I was thinking that like I had actually not necessarily like prioritized All-Star Rare recently, but I did because I'm like, oh, everyone's leaving, so I'll just collect here. And welcome back, everyone. Good to see you.
Yeah, I mean that's the other big part of that announcement is like, since that is to like an uncapped mode, you can kind of just like throw Murderer's Row in there and top 100. And was it top 100 in rare? Top 300 in rare. Yeah.
Top 300 in rare.
Yeah, I think I still need more time to like really think about what I'm gonna do, but
it's top 100 in All-Star Rare.
Okay.
300
top 30 in rare pro.
I mean, I basically capped is still just the beat the game part. Like you have to beat everyone else to get the ETH in All-Star now, but if you just that's it. Calling the podcast crash, and it's actually crash. Oh, yes. Meaning we fell off. Yes. So what I wanted to lead off this podcast with, and I'm like upset that Sorare made this announcement purely from the context that I had this line all set up, and now it sounds stupid. But the point of this podcast was to talk about kind of the market right now and what's going on. And given that you are like a true expert in these sort of things, I was going to ask, like, Andy, are we in a dip?
You got a smile out of me. Just trying to hold it together here, Laird.
I want to thank Gator guy was the one who was like, "Can you ask Andy if we're in a dip?" And I'm like, "Yes, I will." I will leave it at that.
I'm trying to think of a better way of describing it than a dip. Maybe a small
Like a
like
divot.
sure divot. There's a divot there. Uh,
I
yes,
think
yes, we're in a dip. Okay, we're in a dip.
Tecker says it's over. Dip's over.
Yeah, let's go. It was
Panic
more like
crater.
a cliff, like a waterfall, you know.
Jonathan B was asking when the money rewards announcement came out. It came out on Discord about 15 minutes ago. Still no Medium post or announcement anywhere else. But there it is.
What is your initial reaction to it? Is it like I need to buy more cards, or is it like I'm not competing top 100 in rare anyways?
Oh, that's funny. I thought you meant in response to the market cratering.
Oh
Because
yeah, sorry, I went back to the old conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's probably, let me answer the question I thought I was going to answer first. So I thought this was like a tremendous buying opportunity. And I realized that like where my gallery is and where I've come with Sorare is a little different than people who have joined recently. So it's like easier for me to be like, oh yeah, prices are down, let me go buy. I'm not sitting on like a pile of ETH. I actually deposited for the first time in like well over a year, like 2 months ago. It was about 2 months ago. I was like, I'm just going to buy a bunch of MLS guys and then sell them as the season gets closer. And then they all tanked at this point. But I looked at some of these prices, and you mentioned the Messi one, which like we had talked about offline. Like that's a card that is way out of my budget. I was going to say normally, it still is, but it's like slightly closer now.
Yeah.
And there are probably cards that I could sell fairly quick, like my better cards I could sell to like get a Messi. And so that's kind of like the question that I've been having in my head for a while now. But all of this now makes me think that that prices won't keep crashing. Like I think that the easiest way to make sure the prices don't keep crashing, and I think part of the reason, I don't think it's all of the reason, I think part of the reason that they went down is because there was just less ETH in the system. Because like there wasn't this gigantic threshold payment every week to everybody, basically. And now theoretically this puts more ETH in people's pockets, although again, it's still not really going to that many people. They're paying out a lot, but it's not going to that many people.
I mean, it'll make the market more liquid for sure.
It should.
And, you know, I don't know that I believe in like the whole trickle down, whatever. Like, I don't think that it's going to make its way down to everyone, but I think that it is. I mean, let's be real. They're giving more back to their customers. So this is a positive thing for the user base. Like there's no bad part of this for you and I, or even the smallest player on the platform. Like I don't see how this would negatively impact anyone. Like it's only good news.
I mean, it's effectively like a stimulus.
No, I think you know what? I think that like Sam, I don't know if he's in chat. He's been talking about more ETH rewards for a long time. And like when you look at the distribution of like the way they've been distributing ETH in these tournaments, it's always been top 3, which is kind of weird. Like you look at like a poker tournament or something where which I get it, we're rewarding cards and other things in these tournaments as well. But they like it's not just the top 3 get paid out in a big tournament that has, 5,000 users. It's weighted proportionally to what place you come in, down to whateverth place. And I think that there's like most tournament structures have like either an algorithm and it's top X% of players get paid out. And I think that it's good for them to and probably to bring this to all tournaments across the board eventually. I think would be positive. I mean, it's not in the regions right now. Like, why
Right.
not have it in the regions as well?
Yeah,
Am I getting greedy?
the more that I look at it, the more I'm just like, I don't think this makes that big of a difference for most people in terms of like how few people are actually getting all of this ETH.
Yeah, but if you have a card for sale and one of the guys that just won that ETH wants to buy your card and doesn't have ETH, now they do.
Yeah.
And now you have ETH because you sold your card.
Yeah. Assuming I have a card that like somebody wants to sell.
Somebody wants to buy, yeah.
Sorry, right. Scosmo is saying here, concentrated payouts are potentially better than small ETH for everyone to farm and withdraw. Incentive to compete and succeed, which is good for rare floors.
Yeah.
I think it's a complete fallacy that there were that many people getting ETH thresholds and like immediately withdrawing them.
I don't think so, but I think that there were people that were just definitely letting it stack there. Like building up a balance and then pulling it off eventually. I mean, I wouldn't want to be paying fees on that every single time I withdrew it, but I think that there were users that were, quote unquote farming and not really engaging with the game at all.
Right. That's fair.
I also don't think that that's like all that relevant to the conversation. Like, and it's weird too that they didn't really address like the capped mode. Like, honestly, like I don't know. I think that capped modes just lost a ton of their like prioritization for me. Like, I can go make a cap 240 team that's nerfed pretty hard. Like, I'm going to prioritize that less than making a really good rare team because more positions pay out and I can win more ETH in rare.
So right now there are more than twice as many people playing cap 240 than all-star rare. And I wonder if we see that converge closer to the deadline. Scosmo said the Twitter announcement is finally there.
Yeah.
Is it a link to a Medium post? Of course not.
I don't know if you'll see that or not, Laird. But maybe in the future you will after people see how it kind of shakes out after a couple of weeks.
It feels like a big reaction to 2 weeks worth of data.
Well, that's the other funny thing is, people are really saying that like the dip that we're in is because of X.
Mm-hmm.
And X can be, I've heard a lot of different things that X is. It's the capped mode, or it's the swaps, or it's the global economic situation that we're in right now. I've just heard a lot of different answers for that.
Yeah.
Or maybe ETH being bullish is one of them because, I think ETH's done okay the last 3 weeks or something. Any rate, I don't think that anybody really knows what the cause of the dip is. Maybe it's a little bit of all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So to like have a reaction that like any reaction, I don't know that like, I think it's weird to have a reaction this quickly without really knowing what the cause is. Cause I don't think that they really know why the cards have fallen off as low as they have. And another one of X is Europe ending because, towards the end of the European season, we always see a little dip there. Kind of like with the America cards that I called the dip for in December. Was it November?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of factors, and I don't even think Sorare really knows why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. I think that there's just a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And Techers brings up a really good point here. It says it's a quick way of injecting extra ETH into the game in a controlled way.
Yeah.
You surely don't have enough data to make informed decisions on changing the cap modes yet.
Yeah.
So they're not changing them right now, obviously, but they are finding a way to get more ETH into the game.
I think that that's really well said.
Yeah. And then paying the X number of places carries far less risk than changing the rules of cap mode, which, like absolutely. This is the easiest way. It does feel like a huge decision though after just 2 weeks of cap mode, that like if this, not that this is going to end up, because it's obviously controlled and like they know how many places they're paying out, so like they know how much they're going to pay out in any game week at this point, or at least the maximum that they could. But it does feel like it's they're admitting that they missed by like a ton on their.
Or do you think they already had this loaded up, and this was like already coming down the pipe, and maybe this hurried it along?
I think it feels like a backup plan that they planned for, like that it was there, and they were like, if the cap mode really doesn't work, why don't we just do this? And they are doing it, and they're doing it before. Like, I just don't feel like we know that, and I think part of it is because at some point Nicola tweeted that like they weren't going to give away less ETH, and they were. But again, like, it's been 4 game weeks, 2 weekends, and
to be fair, both weekends were far under what.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the first weekend was like way under, and this last weekend wasn't as bad. Like, it was closer, but it was still a lot less ETH.
It was still way less. It was like much bigger than the first week, but it was less than where we were.
I don't XMK. I don't know that I totally agree with that. I mean, obviously, sure, give us more ETH. I don't have a problem with top 3 getting more. I don't know that they like. I don't feel like that they have to, but if they did, I'd be cool with
it. I never found. I mean, I don't finish first that often.
First is already really top heavy with the rewards that you like, the cards that you get.
Right. Do you think that their expectation is that they will still pay out more ETH through cap mode?
Yeah, I feel like. I mean, I shouldn't even try to speculate what they're going to do or what they're thinking, but like, my understanding was like they were going to fix cap mode, not give ETH in different ways. But like, this legitimately, like, this coming out 5 minutes before we started is kind of blowing my mind, because I did not expect them to do this at all. Like, that's not a direction that I thought they would go in. I thought that they would just be like, all right, XP's in cap mode now, and all your guys get 8% more points, and you're more likely to get your threshold now. And like, legitimately, I don't think that would move the needle at all from a market standpoint. Like, I wasn't going to spend more money because I had a 5% better chance of getting every week. But I think this does move the needle more from a market perspective. Like, I think more inclined to buy better cards to try to get top 100 or whatever, top 50, 30.
Yeah, I still don't really think it goes down far enough that it affects the right people. If that makes sense.
Who are the right people? Let's answer that. Who's the right people, Laird? You?
I'm the right people. And I don't finish top 30 in these competitions, so let me have some more ETH.
I think every person would say that their type of people are the right people. Like, whales are going to be like, it's us. We're the ones that spend all the money. We should be getting all the rewards back for our our investment into the platform. And then the smaller users are like, well, what about us? Please, sir, may I have some more? So, like, I think that no matter what, everybody's got their own. They've got their own agendas.
That's fair. It's just funny to see that they're giving away $15,000 in All-Star Rare and like $10,000 in All-Star Rare Pro, which this is just one random thing that I have noticed, that they went back to Rare Pro. For a while, it was just All-Star Pro. And I hadn't. It's been weeks like this, and it just popped into my head that they went back to Rare Pro. But anyway, I don't. Well, I was going to say, I don't see them like bringing ETH, like more ETH, to the regional competitions at all. But frankly, I didn't see them putting them in All-Star again either. So who knows?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I do think it'll be interesting to see if they decide to go into regions with it, because I think that's where I think it would make I don't want to say the biggest difference, but I think that it would affect like a lot more people. Even if they just paid out like top 10 or 15, I mean, uh, America is going to have 150 people probably competing this weekend with their Argentinian and Mexican cards.
In Rare Pro?
Just no, any of the America ones. Well, okay, Rare I guess is a lot more, but Rare Pro is like 150. Um, like even paying some ETH there would be pretty interesting, and especially if you were like the type of gallery that maybe had like your gallery is probably a good example of this, where you probably have 3 or 4 eligible. Well, no, you probably have a team, don't you, for America? Because you have Atlas guys and Argentinians like River Plate.
I have a lineup in there. Yes.
Yeah, I think that
yet.
like you'll have people though that are on the verge, and it'll make sense to add cards for situations like if ETH were paid out in the regions.
Do you think it's right that finishing third in All-Star in America Rare Pro gets less the ETH wise than the person who finishes 30th in All-Star Rare Pro? Like should every podium be higher than the lowest All-Star payment?
Sure, I'll say yeah. Why not? Why not? I don't think that fairness really matters in that regard. But yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. Give us more ETH.
Just more ETH, yeah. I feel like this really. Let me see this prize pool again. I mean, it definitely changes your priority for like it has to.
Yeah.
Because yeah, previously you were just playing for these cards, and now there's like coming in 100th in All-Star Rare gets you the same payout as like capped super rare.
You know what? We didn't talk about this, but it introduces a new really fun mechanism for your sweat. Because now you're sweating top 100.
Top 100.
So if you're in 106th place and you still got a guy going, like,
yeah.
There's a lot more on the line.
Sure.
Like there's another situation where you have something on the line, and it's a big differentiation too between 0 ETH and 0.05 ETH or 0.0 whatever. I think it was 0.05. Like that's a big jump of like 0 or 0.05.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
I love sweats.
And what?
I love sweats. I love finding little things to sweat.
Yeah. No, it absolutely makes the game more exciting because I mean, we had that. You probably didn't sweat getting to 250 in All-Star Rare that often, but like there are plenty of people who do. And they were like, if you are at 225 with one player left and you're like, oh man, guys, I just got to get the start and don't pull in Alessio Castro Montes and have a negative 17 AA.
Yeah. I think my favorite sweat in the game is like one that Trip and B had last night because he not podiumed. He came in first place in All-Star Rare America Rare Pro, and he had a fun one where he had a guy going, but he also had 2 guys. Like I think like the second place guy and like the 4th or 5th place guy had guys going in the same game, so he's actively rooting against guys that are on the same team as his player.
Yeah, don't pass it to him.
Exactly. Every time that guy loses possession, you're like fist pumping, like kick the ball out of bounds, and you're like, yes.
I actually talked to him about that lineup before the game week.
Oh yeah,
about like whether to enter it into America or All-Star, which is kind of a similar conversation that you and I had 2 weeks ago. Like there are 3 prizes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, do I go for this or do I just go an All-Star? And
so what did you tell him?
My initial response was like, just go to All-Star. Like it's only 3 prizes. And we kind of like, we talked about his lineup and he's like, I really think this could win. And I just don't have that many situations where I'm going in thinking like I could actually win this.
Yep.
And he like it just explained like these are the only things that really have to happen for me to win.
Right.
And I was like, shit, that's actually like a legitimate shot to win. So yeah, you should go for it.
Yeah. I think too, like part of that decision is like, what is everybody else thinking? Exactly what I'm thinking right now. Logically, it makes sense to play in the division that's giving away more prizes. And sometimes thinking against the grain or whatever you want to call it is actually the right thing to do. And it sounds like he made the right choice because he's pulling in podium ETH and a star reward. So pretty good trips.
Congrats on the Carlos Heel. Yeah, I mean, this was the lineup. It was pretty simple.
Alexis Pena just absolutely smashed last night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got the Tigres clean sheet, and really, I mean, there's nobody nobody else really in this game.
Yeah.
That did anything, and so he got the highest scoring player from this game. Oh no, not quite the highest scoring, but yeah, it was great.
Oh, Sebastian is asking if we've taken the latest Sorare survey. I didn't know that there was a survey, so I guess I didn't get the survey. Did you get a survey?
No, there was an NBA one too that I didn't get, and I don't know. They just don't care what we think. They know we're locked in, Andy.
Ooh, he got asked if he wanted to do a 20-minute call and answer a couple questions. Let's go. It's gonna be Zara having to call.
We do that for free for an hour every week right here, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Recomon said, I think it's an easier decision for rare and above. In limited, to get top 300 is like 400 plus points.
Yeah, you're right. Limited, that is a tough ask.
So my counter to that is, if you score 400 points, I think you should win something. And now you might.
Should I buy a like really expensive limited team just to plug in every week? And hope to win. What is it? How much do you win?
$10, $20. Let's see. All-Star Limited.
Depends on how good you do, I guess.
The lowest, if you're in the top 100, sorry, I guess I'll just go down. Top, outside of the podium, 4 through 10th gets $100. 11 through 30 gets $50. 31 through 100 gets $25. And 100 through 300 gets $10.
I don't think that makes sense then to build like the most expensive team possible and try to farm ETH out of there.
Andy, I already have it.
You do? Yeah, you have Messi, Neymar,
Tony Cruz.
Yeah. Let me know how many times you hit that.
I bought those two cards, Messi, Neymar, like near each other. It was well over a year ago. And the price I paid like a year and a half ago is back to the price. Like it's today's price. Like the price graph is like, so we're back. But I bought them like to play an All-Star Limited. I was like, I'm going to win All-Star Limited. And I never played them together because I always played one in Specialist, Messi or Neymar, and then one's always hurt and all this stuff. But like, I'll absolutely do it now. Like my top limiteds will go into this competition.
XMK says they're giving away SO coins in the amateur divisions.
Yeah, I saw that.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
Maybe they should tell us what that is. Well, where do you even see that at?
I saw like a screenshot of it somewhere.
Okay.
But it was in like a promotional. Also, the little Easter egg, they've had swaps on Sorare the entire time. Oh wait, I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. Andy, it's right here.
Oh.
The swap button has always been there. We just didn't know it was for the rewards.
I see. Anyway. So that's the one you got to hit.
That's how you submit
that, and then you can trade your bad reward for a good reward.
Yeah, Techers is saying it's a new club shop currency.
I see.
Is that Where do I see like my achievement? Yeah, there we go.
I would
Are
think
these the SO coins I get now? I have 66,000 SO coins.
if they're gonna start giving away coins, then maybe they need to start putting things in here that are more fun in the club shop. So if you scroll up, you can go to the club shop. Like, I don't want a watermelon emoji icon. Like,
why not?
I don't know. Like, this stuff is just like, come on, give me something cool.
This looks like one of the new NBA
explosion
action poses.
Give me like an animated GIF of something awesome, and that can be my background. I'll buy it.
Thought this was a middle finger at first.
It kind of does, yeah. I paid for the Ukraine background, and then they gave it away free.
How you feel about that?
Pretty sad. Pretty sad.
Where's this watermelon? Oh, there it is.
500 coins.
500.
It's expensive.
In this economy? Jeez.
Let's see.
Shout out to Tom. Agree. Please like the video. I mean, look at the screen right now. How could you not like this? What are we doing?
If you could trade your SO coins for a common card,
no.
Would that be a good thing? That'd be bad.
No, I don't want it.
No. Okay.
I still don't know why I have commons in my gallery. I think there are enough people who are like, no, let's keep them. And my God, what a pain.
Well, I mean, like the commons, I was talking more about the commons that you can use in the like the draft competitions and stuff. I guess that would be really bad.
And I don't have any idea what I would use coins on Sorare other than just cards. Let me just...
We can all agree that's a horrible idea.
What, SO coins to buy cards?
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to see here like what else I need to do. 10 rare, 1 of 100s. My God. My favorite is this childhood club one. Collect 50 cards from the same club, and I have 28, and it's the U.S. men's national team. Because my custom series cards count. And they said no utility. Ha!
Yeah. Did you get a prize for the second star on that? I guess when you hit like 20 or something.
I think it was 25. I think maybe 10 and 25 or something like that. I just remember when I bought the 25th one, I think I got like some sort of animation on the screen, like congratulating me. And yeah, it was just kind of funny because they all play for different clubs, except for all the Leeds guys, I guess. But anyway. All
right. So back on topic, back to the crash. Everybody wants to know what are you doing right now, Andrew Laird, to protect yourself from this crash or to take advantage of this crash? What are you doing? Are you depositing?
Well, I deposited in December, which obviously looking back feels
bad timing,
incredibly dumb. Yeah. Steve Sorare is asking if Sorare Data is my full-time job. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm head of content of Sorare Data. I believe I was employee number 3, maybe 2.
Did they give you that coffee mug back there?
No. So
you had to get that made yourself.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'll tell the story. I was telling somebody else. Excuse me one moment here. So people who watch this show regularly, I'm drinking stuff during the show, whether it's professional or not. I don't know. I just have a dry throat. I need to drink stuff. And I love coffee. So I got this. I was like, I'm going to get a Sorare Data mug. And I went to some random site on the internet and was looking at the different sizes. And I tend to drink like a bigger coffee mug. I'm just like a coffee addict. So I like to have like a lot of it at one time. And they had this size, and it was the only size that they offered where I could order just one mug. And I wanted to like order one, see how it was, and then like decide. And the thing is it's basically like what I would consider an espresso mug. It's tiny. It's an 11-ounce mug, which is the standard regular small mug size. The problem is that the minimum order for bigger size mugs was 172. And it's just like it's a lot of mugs. 170.
You got lots of friends though.
I do. I do.
Mean,
It was just a lot. I haven't ruled it out, but
I mean, that's like one nice rare card.
Well, it was like 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago. Not anymore. So anyway, so I won't use it because it's so small. So it's literally a decorative piece now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Quinny, what did I miss? We're all rich again.
Yeah. Just finished top.
Sorry if you had a better summary than that.
No, I don't. Haney said it makes sense that they were off on cap because many managers rolled over and quit. I think if you ask people why the people that sold their galleries, I don't think that it was because of cap mode. I think a lot of the galleries that sold were big galleries that probably didn't care that much for cap mode. They had their reasons. People I've talked to, it was different.
Wait, somebody said that people quit because of cap mode?
Yeah, in chat.
Why would you quit over cap mode?
Because it wasn't giving away enough ETH.
Oh.
I think a lot of the people had different reasons between the people I've talked to.
Sure. Yeah.
They had their reasons. I'm not gonna,
I just want to prioritize something here, Ugo, that I know that espresso is just one shot. It was trying to explain that my mug was so small, it could only hold one shot. Anyway. I do feel like a lot of the higher, what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say exposed, but that's not actually the word. The popular people who are selling up, which again is a term I can't stand, but a lot of them have admitted that they're like going to keep playing. They're like that they just felt like they were overexposed.
Yeah.
And they are reducing that exposure.
Yep.
And it's not that they think Sorare is going to zero. They just have enough where they're just like, I don't feel comfortable having this much in one asset, which is a completely reasonable strategy.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, just lump it all into Sorare. I mean, this is our retirement, like this, this is my kid's college fund. Got it all.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. Good point.
One of the things that I found that I talked to a lot of people and they were like, yeah, you should take money out of Sorare. And people who have made a lot of money on Sorare, they're like, yeah, you should take it out and like save it or spend it on like something else, do something, blah, blah, blah. But like Sorare is the kind of thing that I would spend my money on. Like I would spend my extra money on. I would be like selling stuff to then just like, I've always viewed this more as a game and a hobby, and like people spend money on games and hobbies all the time. And this is just happening instead of going out and buying cardboard.
It's just a really expensive. It's a really expensive hobby.
Well, it used to be, not anymore.
Yeah.
Never a better time.
I mean, let's be real.
No, I think the game is still great, and I think it's a game that is worth like paying to play.
Yeah.
I don't play the free game seriously, but I do know plenty of people who play the free game and have a lot of fun with it, and I think that's great. I just kind of joined Sorare at a different time, so it's different for me playing a free game at this point than
others. I think a lot of people like they look at their gallery valuation a little bit, and that's kind of like the scoreboard. So like you're playing Pac-Man or Galaga or whatever, super old video game reference from the boomer, but at the end when you finally die, you type in your initials and that's your score. I think that people see that gallery valuation as kind of like your score in the game, and it's like I got to get that higher. And I think that like my perspective is more like, how do I get more competitive every week? And that's really what I'm building towards every week. And I get it, there is money tied to it and all that, but like I'm not planning on selling anytime soon anyways. Like I'm just planning on improving my gallery every week. I get it. Other people have different perspectives, but that's my perspective, is I'm trying to get better and better and better every week. I honestly, I couldn't even tell you what my gallery valuation is. I haven't looked at it. I know which way it's trending. but it's not something I look at on a relative basis at all.
So we came out with this feature this week where you can hide your gallery valuation from yourself, or you could hide other people's.
And I didn't even know where that was. People were telling me that was on there, and I was like, where does that even show up at?
Your gallery valuation or the hider?
Yeah. I finally found it.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I just never really looked at it because I was never a point where I joined Sorare thinking I'm sending my kids to college with this money, or I'm buying a new house with it. Like, it just never was that for me. And the gallery valuation, and I've actually said this previously because it felt like Sorare tried to get us to not ignore values, but it was constantly like, this is a game. This is not to make money. But the way that your gallery valuation went up was kind of evidence that you were good at it. If your gallery valuation is going up, you must be good at this game. And we have learned very quickly that that's not a good representation of how good you are at this game. And we talked about this a couple podcasts ago of like the best cards to win. And if you know the more you play this game, although it's fairly quickly, like, you know which are the best cards to win. Winning Mbappe is awesome. And so the way I've looked at success in this game are just like, what are the best rewards that I've won? Like, everything I do in this game is to try to win the best rewards. And it's never like, I want to win this guy because he's worth this. Like, that's why you see so many people get disappointed when they win, like, goalies, mostly because you're just like, oh, I'm sure I could sell that. Or, I mean, usually goalies are easy to sell, but it's like, you're not doing it because you just sold this card for $800. You're like, well, I was really hoping I could win Tadic or Kieran Trippier, but like, oh, I guess I have to win whoever. I can't even think of a goalie now that I am on the spot to do it. But like, that's how I started viewing it. And so like the gallery valuation stuff, I actually, there were more people than I expected who have like openly said they use it. Like, people with like high gallery values, which obviously were higher, a month or so ago. And they were just like, yeah, I was like sick of just looking at it go down. And I was like, I can't remember the last time I even looked at mine. I mean, it's there every day, but like, I just bypass it.
One thing I keep seeing like in the community that kind of makes me like roll my eyes a little bit is like, whenever like we're talking about like the market crashing or gallery valuations going down, people are talking about, well, it's just a game, like this is not an investment. It's just a game. Like, it's annoying to me because it's like, yeah, it's a game that has like financial consequences, and people have made different decisions along the way that either they're overexposed or they spent a lot of money at a bad time, or there's just a lot of like, it's different things to different people. Like, to me, it's probably more of a game, but I can't tell other people that, hey, bro, it's just a game. Like, maybe it is for me because the amount of money that I have on the platform or whatever, I don't care about, or I don't rely on it or anything. But like, I see a lot of people like spreading or like forcing their opinion of it. Let's be real, it's different. It's a different thing to different people. So like, I don't know. I just seen a lot of like back and forth with people on Twitter or the community or whatever. It's just like, I mean, people have done probably, I guess, not smart things when it comes to the amount of money that they plowed into the platform, and they might be in like, their mental state might not be great right now when looking at their gallery valuation, and they're trying to think of how do I get back square again. And I don't know, just before you dump on someone, remember that they might not be in a good state of mind.
Yeah, honestly, I think that was the biggest reason that we did it. That there were enough people who were like, it's not like mentally, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And so
I don't like looking at that every single time I open the page.
Right. And I think from my perspective, I just didn't do that. So it was difficult for me. Like, it was easy for me to just be like, well, just don't look at it. Cause like, I don't look at it, but like, I appreciate that it brought like negative feelings to people. And not to go back to the whole, like, well, this is just a game, but like, we generally do this because it's fun. And if that part was becoming not fun, then it was easy enough to cover that part and focus on fun stuff.
I like what Metal Gear said. It's like, be happy while you are losing money was a cool line on Twitter last few days. Like it's tough. It's a tough place to be right now out here in Sorare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully we bottomed, right?
What's that?
Not financial advice. Hopefully we've bottomed.
I don't worry about this, but like if the market doesn't, I was gonna say, if the market like doesn't rebound after this ETH injection we're getting, basically, then I don't know like what the solution is.
Or maybe there's no solution. Maybe this is the correction, and maybe Messi is now worth $2,500, and that like his rare card is worth $2,500, and that is what is normal, and that is where we move forward from. And maybe there's corrections up and down from there, but I mean, let's be real. Like, I mean, I've been on the platform since 2019. I've only seen it go really in one direction. So, like right now it's kind of weird, but also like markets don't go up forever. So, I'm also not an economist or anything. So like, I really can't talk too much about like macroeconomics, whatever this discussion is. I don't know, but I just don't feel like I've ever seen a chart just like plow upwards forever.
So I shared this with you and a few others privately, that I went back and watched a show that we did in September of 2021. If anybody's looking for it, it's on YouTube. It's actually on the RotoWire Soccer YouTube channel. But if you just type in SorareAndrews, Why I Left Sorare, that was the title. It was a conversation that we had with our friend Evaldo, who was a fairly early Sorare player. He joined basically right after me.
I thought he was before you.
Was he before me?
Because I had talked to him, and at some point you and I had talked, and I was like, yeah, I've been talking to this Evaldo guy. And you're like, oh, I've known him for a long time.
Yeah. So I wonder if his account even still exists. He joined December of 2020, and I technically joined in November.
Ah, okay.
But I don't think he used my referral code, which is absurd, and I'll have to
bastard
that seriously. Anyway, so Evaldo was like, he's the first one who like told me like you have to buy a rare goalkeeper, and the first one who was like you should probably buy super rares now because we had this show. He eventually left because he pretty much like stopped caring. Like he didn't really love the game enough, and he was like, if I don't like it enough, I'm going to stop.
He thought it would be more fun to buy a real soccer club.
So he did end up buying a real soccer team. He owns, which he actually talks about a little bit in this video. So, but regardless of that, but he basically comes from an economics background and was essentially saying like, at some point, this like Sorare has to go down. Like if it didn't, it would literally be unlike every other economic situation in the history of the world. So he's like, at some point there's going to be a correction. And he was talking at the time about like a black swan event, which I don't think we necessarily got in this situation.
This is definitely not a black swan event. Is Sorare got hacked. All of our wallets have been emptied, and Sorare doesn't have any more ETH. So that's Black Swan.
That would be a bad one. Yeah. So we didn't get that, but he was also like, at some point, Sorare, something's going to happen in the economy that is going to make prices go down. Like it's unavoidable. And one of the sections that I actually shared with you guys was about how the way that Sorare maximizes profits. And once they started getting like big investments in, like they were going to have investors who were like, you need to make more money.
Right.
And the way that Sorare makes money is counter to how we all make money.
Yes.
And so, and he actually referenced specifically basically the Gary Vee boom that Sorare completely messed up by not auctioning so many more cards than they did. And a lot of Sorare managers made a ton of money by selling cards for highly inflated prices because the supply wasn't there. And he was like
100 ETH.
Right. So he was like, Sorare essentially like lost an opportunity to make like millions and millions of dollars by not doing this. And it's a mistake that they will never make again.
Mm-hmm.
And now all we see now are people are like, you got to slow the auctions. Like you're killing the secondary market. And it's like,
yeah,
not going to happen either.
Yeah. But it is important to note, like there are a lot of levers there. Like they can't kill the secondary market because that will also kill the primary market. So they got to thread the needle. Like they can't completely dump on their user base. Like,
of course.
That was such a fun conversation because he brought so much insight. We should probably talk to him again at some point because, just like his background, he's a smart guy.
So as part of this, I actually haven't even re-listened to all of it, but it was fairly soon after. It was about a month after limited cards came out that we talked to him, and he was like completely shocked that we could ever sell a limited card on the secondary market for more than we paid for it.
Yeah,
because he was like, no, because the supply, like Sorare will just keep auctioning them, and we were like, no, we've actually flipped like 2x, 3x, and he was like, just could not believe it. But I would assume that he would look at the current economic state of Sorare and just be like, yeah, this was bound to happen. And it doesn't, not that it doesn't affect how we play the game, but like the game itself is actually, I think, better than it's ever been. And that was before this new announcement. But
yeah, that's the other thing that we didn't really get to talk about is like the current state of the game is actually, I feel like, in really good shape. They're delivering a lot of like new features, and like the team is really building things out. That's why this was kind of shocking, just the drop in prices. But like that's the most bullish thing to me is like, is the team developing? Is the team building cool stuff? Are they adding new features? I like the direction that's all going in, and that's why I'm still, I hate to use the word bullish and also say not financial advice, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think, and again, like everything, if you bought cards over the last year to play the game and you still have those cards, like how you play the game, maybe not even the last year, last 2 weeks now because of the cat mode, but regardless, like the way that you can play the game is still very similar now as it was a month ago. Like prices are down, but like the game itself is the same or better. And so that's sort of what I end up focusing on more. But again, like I never really focused on gallery value as much as a lot of others.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One other thing from chat, said that he recently bought a car and had a fun conversation with the finance person about how I'd get more utility on a unique than the car because he's been a telecommuter for 8 years and doesn't really drive that much. I think that is St. Louis guy. I need to talk to that same financial advisor because if I could get more of his great advice on like card buys, and I think I could really convince my wife that I need to really focus more of my time and energy on Sorare.
As soon as we can use
No.
Sorare cards as down payment on a car, I'm in.
Honey, you don't need a new car. You're not getting enough utility out of it. You work from home a lot. I mean, look at this shiny, unique Sven Coombs.
Mm-hmm.
I could win so much with this.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Basically two threshold from that Sven Coombs unique, and you got yourself at least a bike.
Yeah, let's go. Just one win. It might even be an e-bike.
That's a good point. Yeah. Maybe 3 thresholds. Although no, now that you can win 4, or I mean, I guess it's what now? Are there 5? Oh no, because it's just All-Star. So we have 8 places to win threshold or to win ETH now. Is that right? All-Star Limited, Rare, Super Rare, Unique.
More down the road.
And then the 240s. Yeah. So 8 ETH winning opportunities every week. Not for all of us, but some of us can do that.
I think I'm gonna probably try to play as many of those as I can.
Any last words?
Doku got a decisive, Tecker said. So is now the time to buy Doku?
How much does he go for?
I think he's been healthy for like 4 or 5 straight games.
It's like dangerously close. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's only started 3 of those games though.
10. 1 was at the World Cup. So 9 since he returned. 3 starts. Oh, that's dangerous. And
back-to-back green scores.
Yeah.
We're about to see that price pop. And then it'll be like muscle injury.
That seems dangerous to me.
Yeah.
I would, yeah. Not financial advice, but I wouldn't go down that road.
XMK said, if Sven Coombs gets injured, do you have insurance on him? I do not, but maybe that's the next big thing to come in the Sorare universe is insurance on your high-priced cards. Pay $6 a month, and I will buy your injured player from you if he gets hurt. I don't know. Something like that. Build a business around that. Take it to Shark Tank.
That doesn't seem crazy. Thank you to everybody for joining us live. If you guys could please hit the like button, that would be really appreciated. If you could also just subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Yes, Doku would be about $60 per month.
Real quick, maybe that's the next Pal Trader feature that.
That's exactly where I was going with that. Twitter. I thought Pal would be the one to do it. Yeah, I think that might happen. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. I feel like we touched on a lot of different things today, and the announcement of a total game changer 1 second before we started streaming may have had a role in that. So like we were ready to stay on topic this whole time.
Oh, for sure.
Sorare were the ones who did it. But I believe Andy did call that we are at the bottom of the dip. And then Doku's got a decisive just to make sure that it keeps going up. So anyone who wants to take that, do whatever you want with it. Not financial advice, of course. But yeah, we'll be back next week with hopefully seeing prices go like this a little bit. Because of ETH, it'll be really interesting to see where everyone puts their lineups this game week, because now we have all this extra ETH to win. So let's go get it. Thanks, everyone.